Hey, I'm Travis.
And I'm Adelle.
And we are The Noble Marriage.
If you're new here, welcome. We are so glad to have you. And welcome, returning friends. We're glad you're here also. The Lord put us on this path because we have our own God story of healing and restoration in our marriage. And we want to share this freedom with couples all over the world.
We hope that through our channel, you will be inspired and motivated so that your marriage will be all that God created it to be. Hey, and welcome back to video number 9 in a series with Dr. Gary Chapman, who is the author of the 5 Love Languages and about 50 other books. And today we're talking about those annoying little things that our spouses do. So let's watch.
Well, yeah, there were a number of things. One was the way she loaded the dishwasher. I'm an organized person. I believe in the dishwasher. There's a place for everything. If it's in its place, it'll get clean and nothing will get broken.
That's right, actually. Yes. I agree with you.
My wife loads the dishwasher like she was playing Frisbee.
That's me.
And so I didn't, again, this was in those days, I didn't know how to solve things. I didn't know how to process things.
I hope you're listening.
So I requested of her, I pointed out to her what was happening and that 2 spoons with peanut butter between them would not get clean and that the way this glass is in here, it's going to get broken. And I would request all of that. And to her, that was a waste of time. You're taking too much time to load the dishwasher. Put them in there and get clean. So, you know, that went on quite a while by trying to convince her. And eventually one day she said, you know, if it is so important to you, why don't you load the dishwasher? And I said, well, I guess I could do that. Because see, I took them out in the morning, because I'm a morning person, and I unloaded the dishwasher already. And that's when I was having the broken glasses and the peanut butter and the spoon. So I said, but now, you know, honey, some nights I will have to leave right after dinner to go to a meeting, and on those nights you'd still have to do it. And she said, I'm fine, I don't mind doing it. And I'm thinking, I know you don't, but
but you don't do it right.
But that's what we started. So I load the dishwasher, and it's loaded right.
So do you still unload it also?
Oh yeah, still unloaded, yeah, because she's not a morning person.
Yeah.
So yeah, but now, yeah, we don't lose any glasses, and everything's clean. Yeah, it's worked for us now for, I don't know, 50 years probably.
One of the things that you shared at one of the conferences we were at was leaving cabinet doors open.
Oh yeah, that's another one.
That's mine.
Yeah, I really want you to speak to her so you can change her.
It's now, I do have to say, it's only in our bathroom. It's very in one spot, not all over the house. So at least he has that to be thankful for.
I am very grateful for that.
Yeah, it was 2 places for us. It was in the kitchen when she left the cabinet doors open, and the bathroom where she left the drawers open. And again, you know, I tried to explain to her. I said, honey, if you leave these doors open in the kitchen, and I'm in here, you know, working, I hit my head on the doors. And in the bathroom, when I walk through, I catch my pants on the doors. You know, and could you just close them? You know. And to me, it was a request, you know, at the beginning, and she didn't, you know, change. And so then I remember I was taking a course on audio visuals, so I thought, I'm going to try that. So I went home and took everything out of the top drawer and put it on the counter and showed her how drawers work. This little wheel
she appreciated
fits
that.
in this little groove. I said, you could actually close that drawer with one finger. And I took her to the kitchen. I said, now, if you get this door close enough, this little magnet will grab it and close it for you. But she still didn't close the doors.
How'd that work out?
She still didn't close the doors. So really what happened, this went on about 9 months. I'd go about a month, you know, on slow burn, which means I wouldn't say anything, but I'm saying to myself, what's wrong with the woman? You know? And then I'd go about a month trying to talk to her. But one day, I came home at night, and our little daughter, who at this time was about 18 months old, had fallen and cut the corner of her eye on an open drawer. And Carolyn had taken her to the doctor, and the doctor had stitched it up. And I asked her, what happened? And she told me the truth. I could not believe my ears. I thought to myself, woman, if I were you, I would not be telling me this baby fell in an open drawer.
Right.
She told me the truth. I was so proud of me. I said to myself, I will not pour salt into the wound. I will not say the words, I told you so. And the other thought I had was, remember I was in seminary, the other thought I had was, she wouldn't listen to me. Now God is working on her. But you know, she still didn't close doors, even after that. And about 2 months later, I realized she's never going to close doors. So I took a deep breath, and somebody had told me, if you have a problem you don't know how to solve, get you a sheet of paper and write down everything that comes to your mind as to how you could handle it. So that's what I did. The first thing I wrote was I could leave her. I had that thought run through my mind several times. Second possibility, I could be miserable every time I see an open drawer from now until the day to the day I die. Or she dies. I thought it, so I wrote it. Third one, I could accept that. That's something she will never change, and I could close the drawers. Well, I went back to, and that's all I could think of. I went back to analyze. I could leave her, and I just marked that one out because I was in seminary studying to be a pastor. I said, if I leave her, I never will get a job in the church.
That one won't work.
I could be miserable, and I thought, no, 11 months is long enough. And I marked it off. And I only had the one left. I could accept it. And I could close the drawers and the doors. And I said, okay, God, that's it. So I went home to tell her. I said, Carolyn, I said, about the drawers. She said, Gary, please don't bring that up again. I said, no, this time it's different, honey. From now on, you don't ever have to close the doors in the kitchen, and you don't ever have to close the drawers. When I come in, I'm going to close them. If you want to open them again, it's fine. You can open them anytime you want to, and I'll come by, I'll close them, when I come by. You don't ever have to worry about it again. You know what she said? Fine. No big deal with her. It was my problem, not her problem.
That's right.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah.
When you shared that at the conference we were at, it changed our relationship so much because
I was so frustrated and angry with the way you would do that.
Yeah.
It really made a difference.
Big deal. And when he realized, somebody else deals with this too, and I can love her for the way she is, and you've really done an amazing job at that.
And I know this is going to resonate with so many other marriages because every marriage has that. What you talked about when you first got married is I'm too in love with her to see those things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm way too in love with you.
Yeah.
Until the time comes where every time I go in the bathroom, there's 7 drawers and cabinets open every time.
Yeah.
Until it becomes frustrating. And this is going to help set a lot of people free.
Yeah.
Because like you said, I could choose to keep holding on to that, and it's going to build resentment and build a wall between us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it only affects you because
it only affects me.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not affecting you at all.
Right.
Or you would
I
shut
don't
it.
even know I'm doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing is, it wasn't for us, but turning the lights on and not turn them off. That's a big one for a lot of couples, How many times do I have to tell you, turn the light off when you leave the room? And they don't ever, no. You just realize, you're the light turner offer. They're the light turner on. You're the light turner offer.
Exactly.
That's good.
That's a good team right there.
That's good. I like that. Okay, so coming back from those things, obviously I talked about some things that bothered me. You never really talked in there about things that bothered you.
Yeah, well, I just get the biggest kick out of hearing Dr. Chapman tell these stories about his wife. And I relate so much to how his wife must feel, first of all. And I just love the humor that he finds, because when you and I were at this retreat where we heard him talk about this, these things were like barriers between us.
Yes.
They
Why couldn't you
were
figure it out?
things that bothered both of us so much that we couldn't look past it, and resentment was being built. And so when I heard that he can laugh about his wife leaving the cabinet doors open, I was like, oh, praise the Lord. There's hope. There is hope. So, yes.
That was huge for me too, to hear him talk about that. I just assumed I'm the only one experiencing this. And what is wrong with you for not being able to close drawers and cabinets? And hear him say that, it resonated with me because he's a marriage expert. Been married for 60 years and been in the ministry for that long. And I'm like, man, he experiences this. I guess other people do too.
Yeah. So back to your question about what are the things that annoy me. So we have mentioned this in other videos, but Travis has this internal belief that dishes should be cleaned up in a very particular time frame that he does not communicate with me. And so we'll be in the middle of a movie at the right, like a really good spot, and I'll see you just pick up the remote, pause it, and I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just gonna clean up and put all these things away. And I'm like, why? We're in the middle of a movie. Can we do it at the end? Like, and you're like, nope, have to do it right now. So I just sit there and wait. Because you're the one that wants to do it, not me. And then he also has this really amazing habit where he will blow his nose and use tissues, and the way you use them is very intriguing as it is, but they end up in these cones, tissues, and then boop on the floor. And I'm like, could you just put it next to you or something?
I don't know why I like to fling them.
And so I'll see them on your side of the bed, on the floor.
Everywhere.
Wherever you've been sitting are these little cones of tissues laying.
Fling them.
And I'm like, I don't want to pick that up.
Yeah.
Yuck. So those are mine. There's one more. He likes to, especially with yogurt or ice cream. These two will just this makes me gag. But you'll fill up the bowl with water, but not dump it. You could rinse it and then it would be fine. But instead you leave all the nasty and add water to it. And then you start piling silverware in that water. And I'm like, I don't want to put my hands in that and try to get that silverware out. That's nasty. So I'm like, babe, can you rinse it all the way out? Don't leave the water in there. And I'm happy to help you with the dishes. Otherwise, it's all you.
Yeah, and I can see that a little bit now. So I've been doing a lot better at that.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
So what else for me before we go into this?
So definitely the cabinets and drawers, she will leave them open everywhere. Everywhere there's a cabinet or everywhere there's a drawer to open, she will leave it open if she opens it. And the next one, which I don't really see that much anymore, it used to be when she would come in, wherever the shoes go off in the house, whether it's in the kitchen or the living room or the bedroom or my side of the bed or your side of the bed, the shoes just go there and they stay for a week or so. And that's not the case anymore, but that used to really annoy me. It's just shoes all over the house.
I have a funny story. I actually just told this story to Haven yesterday. When we were newly married, I was looking everywhere for my shoes, and there were no shoes in the closet, which is as soon as you walked into our door, the closet was right there. And then the bed was in the other corner. And I'm like, hey, have you seen my shoes? And this really great tone of voice, you were like, they're under the bed. I was like, what? Did you just say that all my shoes are under the bed? Because I didn't put them there. He's like, I've been throwing them under there because you leave them out. I was like, so you had to pass the closet to throw them under the bed? And I was telling Heyman, I'm so glad you don't do that anymore.
I have a newlywed tip. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Mm-mm. It will not go good for you. It's not advised. As a marriage coach, we don't advise being passive aggressive We advise having good, open conversations.
Well, I love how Dr. Chapman, he talks about slow burn. And that's exactly what we were doing, is we were allowing the things to bother us and not having communication about it. And so the resentment just starts up. And I love slow burn because it's burning very slow, and you could just have conversation about it. And
You could.
yeah.
And confirmation bias comes into it. A good example is if Adele's leaving her shoes out today and I see it and it bothers me and I grab it and I don't say anything to you, right? Like I got that slow burn and I go take care of the shoes. And then tomorrow I come into the same room and I see the same pair of shoes still in the same area, and I already cleaned it the first time. Now I'm like, of course you're doing it on purpose. So I go get it and I go put it up somewhere, put it back. And now I have confirmation bias. You're doing this on purpose. Or maybe you don't care about me. You're doing it because you don't care about me. And I may have this internal thing going on, this internal chatter that's being like, she's going to do it again. And I will find it somewhere. And
sure enough,
it will
I'll
keep
do it again.
happening, and I'm going to keep getting frustrated. And all that can be avoided.
Yeah.
That slow burn is destruction.
Yeah. And he's talking about like, you have the option to try and change and fix your spouse. I don't recommend it because it didn't work for us. So I don't think it'll work for you either. But one of the other things is I could leave her, or I can accept her for the way that she is and love her that way. And he also said, or I could be miserable the rest of my life. And I think that's where you and I really got what he was saying at our retreat, because we were miserable about these little tiny things.
Every time I walked in the bathroom, it made me miserable to see him open. It did.
Yeah. So we have this phrase that people and circumstances make me miserable, right? I was making him miserable because I was leaving the doors open. What Dr. Chapman says is it's my problem, not hers. And so it's not people and circumstances that make us miserable. It's my thoughts about people and about circumstances that make me miserable. And that's just such a huge distinction to really get, is it was my problem to begin with. You're not the one that has the problem. And so the change really starts with me letting things like that go. And how do you let something go? You have the thought, oh, I'm frustrated. And you have to be aware that that's happening. And once you have awareness, it's about choosing not to entertain that thought.
It is a choice. It's a choice to let it go. You can be entertained by your thoughts, or you can entertain your thoughts.
Yeah, and we choose to be entertained by our thoughts because we are the observer of those thoughts. And so as that thought comes in, it's like, I see you, and I'm going to let you go and not entertain it and not engage in that thought. It's the engaging in the thought that creates more corresponding thoughts, more corresponding emotions, and that's why you're frustrated.
Yeah, and it's just one thought of 40 to 65,000 thoughts you're having a day anyway. And the only thing that sticks in there is there's some type of emotion or belief attached to it that she should be doing this or she should be doing that.
Right.
That's where it comes from. And it's just the ability just to be like, oh, okay, I'll let it go.
Yeah.
It really is that simple. I now have the ability to walk into the bathroom, and I still haven't fixed her.
Nope. I still leave the doors open.
She still leaves the doors and drawers open. And I walk in there, and I think it's the most funny thing in the world. I will comment to her, you only got 2 drawers open. There's a whole lot more you missed.
Yeah,
it's funny to me, and it's something we have a joke about. And so can you. So can you.
Are you relating to this conversation where you're like, oh my gosh, we have the same issues in our marriage? Well, you have a choice. You have a choice to really look for the humor in how your spouse is. They're not going to change. That's who they are. Love them for those little quirks and things about them, and find humor in it and enjoy it together rather than it being a barrier and something that pushes us apart. So my challenge to you is, next time that thought comes up, it's just you're annoyed by your spouse, look for the humor and you will find it. And hopefully you can enjoy that humor together. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you in the next conversation.
Bye.
Bye. But what I love about what Dr. Chapman said is, you could be entertained. What is it? You're not finished yet.
We're here to make a difference and inspire your marriage and other marriages as well. And if you found value in these videos, leave us a comment and let us know what that was so we can make other videos similar to that.
We would love for you to join our community of awesome, like-minded people.
They are awesome.
Go ahead and hit subscribe, and you'll get daily motivational videos that impact your life and inspire you to be your best self. This also helps us get our message out to marriages all over the world. So thank you so much for subscribing and joining our community.